All right, what's going on, boys? How you guys doing today? Peter, Maka's in here. Carson, Ginger, Joe, Vladdy, CS, Joss is in here. Phil, Vikram. What's going on, boys? How you doing today? Pretty solid day overall here at MSL. Let's go over some of the indexes here. So, daily view on SPY. We've been calling out this channel for months now, as you guys know, since you've been in here. Let's get rid of some of these lines. We'll just go over the longer term time frames today. Intraday wasn't really much, but big dips and big rips, just like what we expected on OPEX. A lot of volatility. Probably better not to overtrade this week and keep your position sizes light. But overall, it looks like we're holding this channel for now. The only thing that scares me about this trend line is I would have been much more confident if we bounce like we usually do. It just flushes all the bears, or flushes all the longs. Gets bears trapped and then rips to highs. It's been doing that every single time we've touched this trend line. This time we are bear flagging down here, so there is more caution. I advise more caution down here just because we're bear flagging. Yesterday and today's candle not too bad. I would have loved if we broke yesterday's high of 448.41, but we did not. We came within 5 pennies of it, but we didn't break it. So let's see what happens tomorrow. If we do break this trend line to the downside, we could be in for a lot of consolidation. Tomorrow is OPEX, so keep your options open. Don't get too bullish, don't get too bearish just quite yet. Position sizing small, guys, no overtrading. QQQ closed above today's pre-market range. On the daily, we're still kind of just rolling around up here. We can go sideways on indexes for a long time. If you guys read books, most of stock trading is not, it does, stocks stay sideways 80% of the time, or some percentage like that, some ridiculously high percentage. So QQQ can go sideways here without breaking all-time high and without breaking this low. We can stay in an equilibrium for a very long time. So right now, this is the low you need to watch longer term, and this is the high you need to watch longer term. 382.71 all-time high, and the low is 373.37. I doubt we make a move straight back to all-time highs, especially how SPY is acting on this trend line here. So keep an eye out for this low of 373.37. Everything is still bullish, by the way. Still in a bullish trend. If we break down through that SPY trend line, then we turn bearish. But for right now, it looks like sideways. What's going on, Guggen? How you doing? Yush. Turkey's in here. Nice trading today, boys. AMD was great. Amazon was great. Killed another couple other names. SPY was crushed by T, as you guys seen. Ricky crushed a lot of stuff as well. LRCX. And among others, XLF still the weakest, broke down from this ascending wedge. We are just sideways. This is what I mean by sideways. We can stay in a sideways range for a very long time on the indexes while the stocks go up and down, very volatile. OPEX tomorrow, again, that's why I'm not getting too bullish. IWM closed in the pre-market range, whereas XLF, wait, did XLF close? Where is this? XLF closed under the pre-market range. QQQ closed above it, and SPY closed above it. So IWM the weakest right now. It started off the day as the strongest. It was holding the pre-market low all day, while QQQ and SPY were dumping below it. IWM held, but we closed the weakest on IWM because we were still in that range, okay? No, XLF is the weakest. Sorry, guys. XLF is the weakest. We closed below the range. IWM second weakest. And then QQQ and SPY were the strongest. ES, I told you 44.64, 44.65 was the range. Above 44.65 is bullish. Under 44.64 is bearish. And we closed above the 44.65, I believe. Let's do this. Regular trading hours. What did we close at today? It looks like we closed above it, but right now after hours we're trying to hold the bottom of the range. So right now everything is bullish going into tomorrow, but it is OPEX week. So keep your eyes open. Let's see if we get a gap down or gap up tomorrow. Bitcoin, we went over this yesterday. I sold off a bunch of my position just because we broke down here. Remember, we were entering down here at 30,000, and we rode it all the way up to 50. We got this big dump on good news. Then it's just inside day, and I set these levels here. We broke above the level and we retested, which is why I re-entered most of my Matic and stuff. What's up, Ricari? How you doing? Goldman's in here too. Oh, Goldman's in here just to roast me. Okay. Yeah, so Bitcoin broke above. We retested and looks like we're going up now. So I bought back into the position that I sold around 31 to 50. Great gains. I could have just held through this pain. Didn't really feel like it. Looked like a dead cat bounce. But now we have broken back above the level. We need continuation back towards these highs of 53K. Let's move on now. We take some chart requests from the premium members earlier. We'll go into those ones. Just close, man. Leave me alone. I don't have time for this. Alright, so we're going to open up this one now. We'll go over Amazon, obviously, because half the group's in Amazon. We've been crushing Amazon up and down, as you guys know. Today we wanted a 34.88 close. That's what I wanted. Me and Ricky saw the weekly chart, which is why he entered the lottos. I'm still holding some of those 3600s for next week. I did average down and sell those average down, so I have a better average, and I have my original position size from yesterday. This weekly is turning out to be a hammer candle on Amazon. 34.88 was an hourly resistance and support that I saw, so that's why those lines are here. Just this low, 34.36 was a must hold. 34.78, 34.88 were intraday resistances that I saw. And you guys seen how we bounced off them and how we rejected them all day. 34.36 was a must hold. Yesterday we dumped below, but we closed above. Today we didn't even go test it. We went and we tested 34.78, rejected, flagged under, built some strength, got accumulated, and then ripped above it. First time testing 34.88, rejected. Second time got through, but wasn't enough volume, sold off back into the channel. Third time, we closed above it. So we did close above the 34.88. Tomorrow, we need 3,500. Next resistance is 3,500, and then all the way up to 3,550. We could get 3,550 tomorrow on Amazon if the indexes hold up, but it is OPEX, so be aware of that. AMD called out yesterday. I love the flow that I seen coming into it. I've seen the price action. Another thing I loved about AMD, which is why I took 1 week out, was this weekly chart. If you guys look at these wedges here, and these resistance, 3 weeks breakout, 3 weeks breakout, third week, and do we break out? It looks like we're starting the breakout here. The daily looks pretty good too. We're just consolidating under this very clear line today. We closed above it. AMD news came out. Oh, shocking. Technically, it was set up and news came out. So AMD closed above it. We got a nice 30-40% on those. If you guys bought lower than me, you guys got, I seen some people at 100% today. Congrats, and I did jump in some AMD lottos for tomorrow, very light, just based on, I think we get a PT raise after hours. Let's see if it happens. I got the 108s for tomorrow, and I got 110s for next week, so let's see if we get continuation on that one. Neo just kind of going sideways here, just bear flag after bear flag. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and just flagging out. Let's see if we break down. We need a close below the hourly candle here. We are well below this head and shoulders pattern that I called out. If we break tomorrow, if we break 36.75 low, 36.75, we should be in for a lot lower. 36.58 is the next support underneath that. Neo, absolutely no flow, no momentum. Doesn't look like lots of people are buying it. Obviously, it's Chinese and electric vehicles, so double the risk. Let's see if we get the follow through to the downside. We have another week on these. They are green, I believe, at the close, so if you don't believe in it, you can get out quickly. NTLA, the reason I called out this one this morning, I really wanted options for this one, but I looked at options this morning and the bid was at $1, the ask was at $4.95, so I just went and I hit equity instead. What I see on NTLA, they announced some news this morning. They're another DNA gene editing company, and what they announced this morning was some cancer news, like they have the ability to cure some kind of cancer if this if their machinery works out or if their goal works out. The weekly 8 EMA is at 154. So today we closed a little bit below it, but tomorrow I expect us to close above 154, hopefully. And the daily, the 50-day is at 151.89. So 151.89, we went down and we tested that today, but we closed above it. So I'm waiting for NTLA. Plus, I love the company. I have equity. There's no premium burn or anything, so I'm not worried about that one. PLTR, huge volume today. Into the options, a lot of volume came in, as you guys seen. I've been calling out this 2750 resistance for a long time now. I have a ton of equity. I also have $30 leaps for January, all called out in the premium chat. The $30 leaps for January are up 100% at close, I believe. And the equity is up over 20%. We were buying the lows here on earnings. And I will look to add to equity if we get a pullback and retest of 2750 if the market holds up. And now we will go into the request by you guys. We have AMZN first. So we'll go into AGen. Looks pretty nice on the weekly. Looks like it broke out. Why is this not sliding over? Okay, so the weekly, it just looks like it's basing here. Stop calling me. Stop it. Okay, so weekly resistance right away, right off the bat, I see as this is a massive base. Okay, so this is a huge base all the way back from 2010 on AGen. Let's see what we have here. Don't know what this company does, never traded it before, but huge base here. Looks like I can move this level up a little bit here. So the 11-year base on AGen is going back up to that 740. So this one, if you want to play this one long term, I'd wait for a 740 close. A break above 740 with volume and close would set this one up for a long time runner. Let's just check the monthly since you guys are calling out charts that are in 10-year bases. All right, so we need a 740 close on the monthly. 740 is also, 770 is where the 200-day is. So 740, 770 area is a big resistance on this one. It's an 11-year base. If it breaks and holds above 740, we could get going all the way to 10. First level is $10. Second level would be about 20 bucks. This is crazy. So long-term trade on AGen above 740 close. 770 first resistance, $10, and then $20 on AGen. That's what I see on the longer term. On the shorter term, let's see. Shorter term, the daily looks like it dumped, closed below the 50-day moving average. If it closes back above the moving average at 580, so we need a 580 close on the daily for a short-term trade. Longer-term trade, $7.40 is the trigger. Other than that, I don't know much about the company. Can't tell you much. Best Buy, BBY, requested by Mr. Wet Noodles. Chart looks like it can go lower on the daily. Let's see if this is a support here. Let's see. So it doesn't really look like, it looks like it's breaking support here. Best Buy, I don't know much about their business. I didn't look into the earnings very much. I don't like it during COVID. I mean, I don't know how much business they get during COVID. But just from looking at it, it looks like it's just holding the support here. If it holds this support line that I just drew right here, then it has a chance to go up. Other than that, it's just breaking down. No volume today, even though it closed green. The RSI is showing nothing. Stochastic showing a little bit oversold, but other than that, I don't really care for Best Buy much. Weekly looks like a weekly bull flag. Monthly looks like a bull flag too, kind of. So longer term, it looks good, but shorter term, it looks like it wants lower just because it broke the support. Let's see if it can reverse and go up towards the moving averages. But right now, it's in a bearish trend. We need to set a higher low and a higher high to change the trend on this one. So you're just waiting for this. If it wants to change the trend, it's got to come up. It's got to form a lower high, but then it has to form a higher low. So it has to, next time after it bounces, it has to set a higher low than this. It cannot take out this low of 108.69 or there's lots more downside on this one. BBIG, the squeeze play. So these squeeze plays run quick. So you want to get in them. What is this? You want to get in them while they're running and just get out of them while they're running. This is not a long-term trade in my opinion. I haven't looked into the company enough to call it a long-term trade, but other than that, looks ugly. Broke below the 8-day. 21-day isn't until 7/26, so another $1 down. So there's no risk, no bull entry for this one in my opinion, unless it starts squeezing again. Good volume today. If it does get back down to 7/26, you can take a shot. It's good risk to reward there. Other than that, looks like the squeeze has happened already. If there's still a huge short interest, please tell me in the Discord chat. I think most of the short interest probably got squeezed out already. And if they did, then it doesn't really interest me anymore. Netflix, I gave you guys levels for Netflix that I like. I do not like going bullish on Netflix here. If it comes back and tests this weekly resistance of 568, that is a good entry in my opinion. It went down to 575. I want one more dump to 568. If it retests 568 and holds, then it's very, very bullish. If it breaks below 568, it can stay in this range between 568 and 466 for a long time. So watch 568. I have an alert on this line here. If it retests and breaks out Very bullish. If it goes back into the channel, no good for a while. Amazon we already did. BYND. Beyond Meat. This one is a fast mover as well. I mean, chart looks like shit, but McDonald's announced the plant burger or whatever. Maybe get some momentum, but for right now, I don't like it at all. There's no support here really, unless you count this. Not my kind of chart, just dumping over and over. Weekly looks ugly. What's going on with the daily? Daily put in a hammer candle today with nice volume. So we could see a little short-term reversal here. If we get continuation tomorrow, I'd look for 123.45 as my target. Other than that, the weekly looks ugly and it could go a lot lower. SoFi. This is another one at Jamath. I hate Jamath. I don't know why. I just hate him. He just has that face that you want to punch. But SoFi, nice volume coming in last 2 days. Looks like it's holding this base. It has a gap to fill all the way to 1675. Closed today at 1550. So you have a $2 move here possible. No, a $1.50 move possible to fill the gap. Other than that, it's just been lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, and then it just based here, and then it broke down out of that base, so it's just basing again. So again, this one not too bullish on this one, but there was nice volume today. This is the area you have to watch for SoFi. Wait, not this one. Let's try that trend line. So let's see if it holds that support and makes its way back up to the resistance. There is a gap to fill, like I said, to 1674. Other than that, let's see if we get continuation tomorrow. And 1613 is a big resistance. $16 psychological is a big resistance. Other than that, don't really like it. Sava, very news-driven stock. So technicals on this don't matter as much as news. If the CEO comes out and says the claims are false and he shows some kind of proof about his Alzheimer's drug, this one absolutely flies, regardless of what the chart does. Charts are good, but news is way more important than charts. Other than that, it looks like just looks like it's a falling knife. So when you try to catch falling knives, you're gonna lose a lot of money. But if they come out with news, this will be a momentum trade possible. We can go all the way up to 53 bucks quickly on this one. Was it 53? No, 65 bucks. So if this one catches news, $65 in a hurry, that's a $20 move. So if there is news, please post it in the group. We will play a momentum play on it. Other than that, just looks like a falling knife, looks like a dead chart. And if you scroll out, kind of does look like a Head and Shoulders that broke down. So let's see if they announce some kind of news on this one. Other than that, doesn't really look too good chart-wise. Not much bull volume coming in, so it's just a dead cat bounce for now until it proves itself. UPST, absolute monster, was called out back here at 126. And we took those calls for a ride, got a nice gain on them, but nothing near what we should have got on them. I even took farther out calls, so if I held them and didn't paper hand them, I mean, shit. So UPST, beautiful bull flag breakout. Very hard for me to buy these kinds of stocks when they're this extended, but it is showing a lot of momentum, showing a lot of strength. So these are the names that can rip higher. UPST just took off on earnings and never looked back. So from 126, if you held those calls, it almost hit 300 today, 296. So more than a double, almost 150% on equity if you just bought equity when I called it out at 126. Other than that, these are called PEGs. Those are power earnings gaps. I'll show you some more examples on those ones. Team did it. Look at this, earning gap and just ran straight after. D-Dog did it. But D-Dog looks like it's only warming up. If D-Dog does what UPST and Team does, it has a lot more in it. Probably goes to 160. This is another power earnings gap example. And just watch out for these setups. They're very, very powerful. ZM I'll do, and then I'll do AFRM too. I'll do 2 more charts, then I got a meeting. ZM looks like it held that support that I drew out yesterday when I was doing the charting session. I told you 273.30-ish was a solid support. Today it touched 273.50. So if it holds this support, it is very oversold on all time frames. If it holds this support, it could make its way back to the high here at 306. So a possible 20-something point move. It's late in the day, I can't do math right now. If it gets back to this 306, it can fill the gap all the way to 348 to 339, sorry. 339 is the gap fill. if it decides to reverse here. Obviously the market has to hold up for this one to do that, but must hold level in my opinion is 273. If it breaks below 273, this is untradeable for at least 2 months, month or two. AMD we already did, but I can do it again. AMD I called out yesterday just because I seen a bunch of flow and I love the weekly and the daily charts. Again, the weekly chart, bull flag right here, 3 weeks breakout, 3 weeks breakout, and now it's been 3 weeks. So we should get a breakout next week if the chart pattern continues. Semis are always going to be strong. As soon as they announce that there's no supply chain issues, these are going to fly. AMD, NVIDIA, TSM, everything's going to fly. LRCX. And AFRM, I'll do that one, then I gotta go. So AFRM announced partnership with Amazon right here. Power gap up, held its gap. Kind of went into the gap, that's the only reason I didn't buy it. Went in here, and then we had earnings and another gap up. So another power earnings gap possible here if it holds up. I looked into their earnings, they're not too impressive. That's why I'm not too interested in AFRM. But it could keep moving. Like I showed you guys on Team, like I showed you on DDOG, like I showed you on UPST. If it holds this earnings, this is a power earnings gap. It could continue here. Other than that, I don't really see a play on it. It's really extended. Maybe for scalps. When I say there's not a play, these are momentum stocks. You can just play them as scalps, but for swing trades, it's really tough to buy way up here. I'll do Tesla, then I gotta go, guys. Tesla, big breakout. You guys, everyone in the world seen my weekly chart on this one. This one just sneakily went without us. Every time I tried to play Tesla calls, it just went sideways and screwed me, and then it just goes the next week. So Tesla, huge wedge breakout, huge wedge breakout, huge wedge. Do we get that breakout? If we get the same measured breakout as this one, we are going to all-time highs. Other than that, the daily, the premium on the calls was really cheap today. I don't know if you guys noticed that. I was going to take it, but I'm already in Amazon and AMD and a couple others, so I have to manage what I have already. So I'm not really watching Tesla. Over 765, this one should fly. Goldman Sachs gives you the numbers in the premium chat this morning. His numbers are very spot on to a T, so keep watching for his numbers because he watches Tesla exclusively and he's really good at trading it. So let's see if we get over 765 tomorrow. Tesla on Fridays usually just screws all the puts and call buyers, so also I'll just be watching my Amazon to be honest. Other than that, on the daily, on the weekly, it's all set up for Tesla to rip. If the market holds up, Tesla should run a lot. Other than that, thank you guys for attending. I'll see you guys tomorrow.